Here's a packet effect from the mid-70s. It's called Light the Lamp. And it involves two cards. One shows you a collection of light switches. The other shows some pictures of lamps. Now the idea is that this switches on the lamps. 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, etc. What happened is that I've configured these wires to connect to a different lamp. Now only one of them will connect correctly, and what I believe is a thing called extrasensory perception. I believe that myself and the audience member can select the same switch and lamp. Now I made my prediction earlier on, and it's in my toolbox. I know it looks like an envelope, but it's actually a magician's toolbox in which are 3 cards which have a jumble of wires. Now, as I said, I've already wired these up to light one lamp from one switch. So I'm going to ask the spectator, give me a number of a switch to control any lamp you wish. Now the spectator can choose any lamp and any switch. Now what I'm going to do is, because I don't have a spectator, I've got a few cards here that I'm just going to deal down, and this is going to represent the switch that the spectator wants. Switch number 4. Now you have to trust me, this is an absolute free choice, as the spectator can have any switch. Let's just pick out which bulb. Now he wants to light lamp 3, so we're turning switch 4 to control lamp number 3, and that's an absolute free choice. I'm going to remove from here the 1 card, the 2 and the 3. The box is empty. Now the spectator may think I'm handing the cards to him in some sort of order, but the spectator can mix up the cards as much as they like. You then request that they deal the cards in any order between the lamps and the switches. Now at this point it's an absolute free choice. The spectator can take one of the cards that contains the wires and mix it up. They can turn it around, and they can even swap the position. Now this is where the magic comes in. My premonition I can't change, but you had a free choice of any switch lighting any lamp. You could have chosen any. If we turn these over and connect everything up, remember this is a free choice, and if we go along from switch number 4, goes along, down, across, up, across, down, in a real jumbled mess, but it eventually turns on lamp 3. If you had said switch 2 to turn on lamp 3, you'll see that it doesn't. It turns on number 1. So the one set of wires that connect switch 4 to lamp 3 is my premonition and what you chose. Now, is that extrasensory perception, or as most people believe, just an extrasensory deception? You decide. So the trick you've just seen is called Light the Lamp. It's a trick that I had from a children's magic set in the, I would imagine, the early 70s. Now, this isn't the original. The original came on a little mat in the magic box, and you opened it up and it had these broken wires, and the theme was about these new laid cards down. But I did like the pictures of the switches and lamps, so I scanned those and printed them out onto card. Now the cards that go between them. Let's talk about the trick itself. Why am I doing this now? Well, although I've had this trick many years, I noticed that Tenyo have announced their new collection of magic for 2017. Now we're filming this in October 2016, and we obviously can't get our hands on the new magic until the new year. But what I did notice is that one of the tricks they have, and I believe it's called Ghost Leg, works or appears to work on the same principle. The trick you've just seen is not a trick, it's a puzzle. It's quite a common puzzle that you see across the internet over the years. And I believe that the Tenyo trick works in exactly the same way. But I'm going to show you this one. It may be totally different to how Tenyo do theirs, but let me just go through this. It's a very simple children's trick. As I said, it came in a children's magic set in the early 70s. So what we've got here are the 3 cards, and in fact we lie because there's actually 4 cards. Okay, there's a 4th card in here. Now the way the trick works is with these jumbled lines on each card, when a spectator chooses a lamp and a switch, only one card will correctly make that work. So the idea is that whichever switch they choose, whichever lamp they choose, only one of these cards will make it work. The other ones are there to confuse the spectator. Now we only use 3. So out of the 4, what do I do? Well, let's say for example that they choose a switch and a lamp, and the card that will control that for it to work is the top card, number 1. If you take the top one, you take the 2 middle cards as well. If the card that makes the trick work is the bottom card, number 4, then you take the bottom card and the 2 middle cards again. So it's quite a simple thing to remember when you're removing these from the envelope, is that if it's one of the outer cards, then you take the 2 inner ones with it. However, if it's either middle card, then you take both the outer cards. Now it probably doesn't make much sense at the moment, but let me just go through what it does. Okay, so first of all, let me just put these in the correct order. Okay, these cards are cards 1, 2, 3, 4. So how do I know which one is going to cause it to work? Well, this is the clever bit. Is let's say for example the spectator chooses switch number 2 and they choose bulb number 5. Now all you need to do is to know the difference between the 2 and the 5. So if I was to count from the 2, that would be 3, 4, 5. So that's 3. There's 3 steps to get me to 5. Hope that makes sense. So he's on 2. I need to control lamp 5. So if I go 3, 4, 5, that's 3 steps. So I know that the 3rd card here is the one that I require. Now, as I mentioned, because I'm taking one of the middle ones, I also take the 2 outer ones, the top and bottom cards as well, for the trick to work. So let me just prove this. I'm going to remove this card and also the top and bottom one. Now let's just put this to one side. Now what happens is you can shuffle the cards up as much as you like. Because of the way this is designed as a puzzle, it works whichever way round they turn the cards. And let's just lay these down just to prove to you that the trick will work. So remember, we're switching on number 2 and it will activate bulb 5. Let's just see that here. So there's switch 2, it comes across there, it's all jumbled up, but if we follow it across and down, it goes to number 5. It's self-working. Once you put the cards out, the rest is performance. Let me show you that it doesn't matter if a spectator turns one of the cards round or if they swap the cards around. It will still get to the same bulb. It may take a slightly different route, but it will get there. Let me just show you. So switch number 2 goes across, down, right across, up, down, and across to 5. And that's the beauty of it. So let's just do another one. That's quite easy. People say, well, you chose a switch 2 and a 5, but what happens if they chose switch 2 and they wanted bulb number 1? Or just to make it a little bit different, what if they chose switch 3 and they wanted number 1? Now, what happens here, if we take a look at the cards, let me just put these out. So there we've got these in the envelope, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now again, we've chosen switch 3. I need to get to light bulb number 1. Now you don't count backwards, you still count forwards. So I need to get to switch 1 to turn that on. So I'm on switch 3. So that'll be 1, 2, 3. So I'm going from 3, 4, 5 and 1. So you just go round again. So that'll be 1, 2, 3. So again, for this to work, it's card number 3. Let me do one more just to prove it is a random choice. And what we'll do is we'll use the cards again that I use. So if I just shuffle these up. So the switch is going to be switch 3 and number 5. Okay, so switch 3 is going to turn on bulb number 5. Now straight away in my head, let's just put these into the envelope. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just put these in the envelope there. You can tell them you've got 3 cards. They've chosen switch 3, so I need to get to 5, so that's 1, 2. So that would be the second card from the top. Because I'm taking a middle card, I take the 2 outer ones. So you naturally come into here and you say, I'm going to remove a card. I'm just going to pull the bottom one out, then the top one, and then the next one, which is the card that we want, the second one down. You can just flip the envelope. They won't ask to examine that. And you then turn them over and they can mix them up, twist them round. But the trick will work. And just to prove it one final time, is that if we join these up, put these here, now we can see switch 3 will connect to light 5, and there it is. It works every time. Now, as I said, I believe the Tenyo trick works exactly the same. I can't be sure because we can't get our hands on it until next year, but maybe they use a different method. But this is a classic puzzle illusion. And the one thing I did notice that Tenyo do have is that they use 4 cards. And watching the demonstration video, I did notice one thing, is that one of the cards that they've added actually has is a mirror image. And what I mean by that, if you look at something like this, anything that comes in on line 1 goes out on line 1. Anything coming in line 2 comes out on 2. 3 to 3, 4, 4 and 5, 5. So it's the exact mirror image. So if you think about it, it won't make any difference if I add this card between here or here or here, or turn it round, because it's really redundant. It doesn't need to be there. But I guess with Tenyo they've added an extra card so it looks a little bit more spectacular. But this is a trick called Light the Lamp. As I said, it came from a magic set for children. I'm pretty sure it's about 74, 75 when I was younger. And I've recreated it using the cards just to make it more modern. And that's a trick. Now, I've seen this trick presented in other ways over the years. I've seen ones that have pictures of horses on, and it's kind of a horse race track, and you pick the winner, etc. But as I said, that's Light the Lamp.